In our last video, we left off with setting up our responsive design. So we now have a fully functional desktop version all the way down to mobile. Let's take a look here. So we have our iPad, landscape, regular, and let's go into phone. It's about phone. So we're missing a couple things like this being able to click. I had a click to top button, our animation for our navigation here. So that's kind of what I want to get into, is getting into some navigation and some interactivity. So as we hover over and click on things, there's some stuff going on. So let's go into that. Let's go here. Let me close this. Can I close this? Okay. Now let's go over to this code here. So I have this. I wanted to take a look at this section. So I have here my cards. So I have cards here. So let's set this up. So to do that, we need to have so in Tailwind, it gives us these transition and transform utility classes. So what we need to do is do a transition. I'll do all and apply duration of 300, and I'm going to do an ease out. So this will trigger a transition for our classes, and that duration is how long it takes from one class to another, or one state to another, however you want to call it. And this easing gives us an ease, like a nice slow, or depending on what your easing is. Now we haven't applied anything yet, so let's do a transform form. And I'm going to do a scale of 105 as the main. So these are going to scale up if I save. So they just scaled up. And now I want to do a hover as our pseudo class and scale it back down to its original size. So if we look at this, if we look at that, there's that. Let's see here. Let me inspect. I want to get out of this iPad looking thing. Okay, so if I hover over that, there's that. So we see this bleeding out. We're going outside of our container. So to fix that, we need to just go and just put it here. Overflow hidden. And it should stop that from happening. Now, since we're going to be using this quite a lot, I want to go and create a utility class for it. So if I go into our source CSS, let's go to the top. Let's add a section called utility. Oops, cancel. I don't know what that was. Utility. And we already have one so far. We made this CWC full. So let's do another one. CWC transition. Add apply. Go to our cards. And I'm going to grab all of this. I'm not going to take this though. So this is going to be something I'm going to apply, so I don't have to write this out. And I'm not going to make this duration or change my ease for most of my transitions. So I'm just going to leave it at that. just so I have a default one. Now I want to do another one for scaling. So wc dot scale at apply, and I'm going to do that. Take this, duplicate this, add hover, and take that. Oops, what's going on? Delete that, and remove that. So let me save there. And let's jump back to our card. Now, I'm going to delete this, remove all of this, and do cwc dot transition and cwc scale. Now, these aren't popping up in our autocomplete because these classes are just a part of our source CSS. It's not being built out of the Tailwind config. So let me save that. And let's check if the black headphone here, if everything is working correctly. It should be working. Yeah, it's working. So let's replace that with all of them. And we can apply it to this one as well. Complete. Do there. And do that. And then we need to do an overflow. Over. Yeah. And that should shrink. But we won't see any difference because I didn't save. So we do that. Okay, that's working. Let's check it over. Card. Card. And let's put this into our inspector. And yeah, okay. So that's all working. Got it all working there. So is there anything else? So let's take a look at this. So we're going to go into button here. And here, I need to do it here. So I don't want to, it's not a screen, so oh, that doesn't really work. Okay. So what we need to do here is we need to replace these background colors. So to do that, we need to create these background images using gradients. So in here and in here. So let's, for here, I need background image. So find that. So I need to grab this and place it here. And I need to grab background size. Background size. So remember, I think that's all I need. So I'm just going to close that off. Okay, so what we need to do here is I'm going to do this. I'm going to call it 100, 200. And what it does is it's going to resize, for this, it's going to resize our background. So I'm going to do 110% and 220%. So this will, so this is going to resize our image properly. Okay, so what else do I need to do here? Now, on here, I need to create two images. So I'm going to do b gradient and call it white/black. This one is going to be red, white. So white And when I hover over, it's going to be black, and this is going to be red and white. Now, I need this to be to bottom. And I'm going to change this to white, 50%, and black, 50%. And over here, red, 50%, and white, white, 50%. So that's going to create our two things. What I don't like is this red, so let me go and grab the red from here. So I want this hex color before I save. So let's go and do this. And I think that's good for now. Okay, so I'm going to save that. Have that rebuild. And let me go into button here. So I want to replace this. So as it's rebuilding, or do I have my... It's rebuilding, I think. Yeah, there we go. Finally rebuilt. So I have this BG here. So I want gradient. And I want white black. And over here, gradient. And I want white red. So let me save that. And something's going to go on over here. Ooh. Why isn't it working? Red, white. Did I name it wrong? Here, let me see. To bottom. Oh, I didn't write it right. So, yeah. I'm going to resave that, and that should be fixed. So what's going on here is we're creating this image with half white, half black, half red, half white, and this background size is going to resize it for us. So let's go into Tailwind here. So in button, what I want to do is apply this thing called BG 100 and also BG no repeat. So I'm not going to repeat this background image. So, and over here, I want to get a hover class, hover pseudo. I'm going to tell the background BG to bottom. So let me save that out one more time, and hopefully this will get readjusted. Now, I need to change these for the hover. So here, so those are back to normal now. So we need to do a couple other things. So I want to update the background, the text color, and the border color. So text, so hover, text. I want it to be white on this one, and hover border, black. I'm going to grab both of those, paste it here. Now I want this to be black text and border red 600. So I'm not going to hover yet. I'm going to save here, let it update, and let's see the magic. Oh, it's not doing it. Oh. Okay, so it is hovering. It's just not animating. I think the border's wrong here, so I need border white. So there's no magic. So let's save that. I'm just going to hover I don't want to get fooled again or look like a fool. Okay, so what we need to do here in our CSS tail is, since we have our class up here, CWC config, I'm going to add it to here. And that should do it. So once that's built, come on, and there we go. Woo! Finally, the magic's happening. Okay, let's take a look at where's our index. Okay, so we did these buttons here, I did these here, and this. So I want to test out this, the background here, and this. So let's open up the header. Okay, so what I want to do here is it's going to change to black. So I just want to make sure that the hover is working. CWC transition. So if I hover, okay, cool. So that's working. I'm not going to keep that hover there. I just wanted to make sure that the animation was working. For when we do it, we're going to be using a scroll to trigger that instead of a hover. Okay, next I want to be able to hover over this, and on the footer I also want to be able to hover over that and scale it. So we can do that by do this. Okay. CWC transition and CWC scale. Okay, and I'm going to do hover red 600. Nope, not border. Text. Rext. Okay, so it's scaling there. Now I want to do a couple other things in the CSS. So in here, add this. I want to add that class here, so I'm going to add it on a different line. CWC transition. And I want to do a hover text red 600. So on everything. So it's going to build. Now I'm going to open up the footer. So yeah, all of those are working. Now on footer, I want to do that same hover thing. So where is that? CWC transition, CWC scale, and is that it? No. Hover red text red. Okay, so I guess I could have created a class for this, but I used it twice, but that's okay. Let's save that, and I want to do a scaling here. So over here, where I have this, I'm going to do a scale up instead. So let's copy that. Up, dash up. And I don't want any scale there, but I want to make this 25. So let that save on the footer version on these. We're going to do that. CWC transition and CWC scale up. And here you can see that it scales up. Perfect. All these are hovering and that is going down. All right, I think that's everything I wanted to cover in this. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Just want to quickly take a look. Do I have an image? Let's take a look. Yeah, so we had there, here, here, and here. So I'm going to go and copy my buttons that I have here. I ended up copying all the files and the buttons over into the index, so this took a little bit of time. There's nothing really going on here, so I ended up fast forwarding it just to save some time. So let me save that. Let's take a look at it in here. So we have it here. Ooh, nice, nice, nice. Nice. Draw going. All right, nice. This might be a little bit big, so let me go and quickly change that. So I'm going to say on LG H2. See how that looks. Ooh, those are tiny. 3. Okay. And let's say these go up to 6. And let's see what that looks like on our phone. Okay, cool. Maybe a little bit big. Oops. All right, so I think I'll leave it here. And in the next video, we'll take a look at, I guess maybe we'll take a look at some JavaScript stuff to finish off the final touches of the website. We also need to work on our mobile menu here. Do that click. So yeah, I think the next thing will be this. Okay, so I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed the content so far. If you have any questions or feedback, please leave a comment down below. To stay updated with the latest content from the channel, you can subscribe by clicking right here in the middle.